And now we meet the lovable rejects who we are going to follow through stewardess school. There's a woman who's a klutz. She has the same affliction as the nerd from Police Academy, only more so. So she's playing in the orchestra and she's hitting the drums and she loses a mallet and then it goes in the conductor's mouth and then she falls down and hits the piano and she's like, well, I guess I'm out of the orchestra. Better go to stewardess school. It's where people end up when they have nothing else in life.
Okay.
And then there's a woman who's a female wrestler. She's kind of the tackleberry of the group.
Tackleberry.
So then the klutz is getting out of a cab. And here, again, we take a police academy and we make it better because the klutz gets out of the cab. The glasses guy gets out. The cab driver gets out. The klutz takes her a suitcase out of the trunk and she hits both of them in the nuts. Double nuts.
Double nuts.
And it really is the exact plot of Police Academy because they cut to a guy who he's the chancellor. And he's like, my father gave me this stewardess academy. And then there's a lady now who's like the Lieutenant Harris. And she's like, I can't believe you've removed all the standards. Now a bunch of losers are going to join the stewardess academy. And he's like, well, I had to do it for the money. And she's like, well, I'm against it. And then who pulls up? There's this like quintessential kind of ditzy blonde. And she has a black parole officer guy who's like, you've been court ordered to go to stewardess school. He's like, you keep getting arrested for being a hooker. So she's like the Mahoney, but she's a prostitute. And she's like, okay, like if you don't make it in stewardess school, we're going to put you in jail for being a prostitute. And she's like, okay. That's how she talks. Oh, and then there's a woman who her whole thing is she's slightly overweight. So then they do like a test flight where it's on the ground, but they get all of the stewardess candidates together and they're like, okay, we've put together a group of problem passengers and you guys, just to test you, just go through and act like it's a flight. But this is probably one of my favorite scenes. Probably in a movie, is the one preppy stewardess, who she's very nice. She's one of our favorites. She comes up with the tray, and there's a little boy. He's dressed up like a cowboy. He's got like the little plastic cowboy hat and little plastic gun. And she's like, hey, little boy, would you like a hot fudge sundae? And she's got all the stuff. And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, okay. And she puts the fudge on. And then she says, would you like whipped cream? And he's like, yeah. And then she puts on the whipped cream and she's like, sprinkles? And he's like, yeah, I'd like some sprinkles. And then she's like, cherry on top? And he's like, yeah, I'd like a cherry on top. And then she takes out these nuts and she goes, and how would you like your nuts crushed? And then the little boy takes out his gun and says, how would you like your tits shut off?
Oh, shit! Oh, no!
Then the chancellor's buddy comes in, Mr. Stromboli.
What's up?
The owner of Stromboli Airlines.
Oh.
And he's like, look, I've known you since you were a kid. You got to help me out. I've got this big FAA inspection. They want to do a test flight to certify my airline, and I need to pass this or I'm going to go out of business. Can you give me some people to use? And I guess the chancellor decides I'll give him the people I was going to kick out, and he has him pay him for it. They graduate the rejects just so they can go to Stromboli Airline and pass. They have to pass the big FAA inspection and save Stromboli Airlines.
Yeah.
And then, so for some reason, everyone on the flight, they're boarding the flight, everyone on the flight is blind.
Okay.
And we have a guest appearance by George Jefferson from the Jeffersons.
Oh.
And he's blind, and he's making a meal out of his guest performance. He's hitting everybody with his cane. He's like, don't touch me. And he comes on. George Jefferson's there. And then there's also one guy who's not blind is this crazy Charles Manson-looking guy who clearly is going to be a terrorist.
Okay.
Oh, and they're like, there's going to be an inspector from the FAA on the flight, but you don't know who it is.
Okay.
So then the Charles Manson guy puts a little pill in the guy next to him's drink, who's just like a businessman, I guess, to create a diversion. Like, I don't know if it's like ecstasy. I don't know if it's like some hallucinogen. So that guy starts freaking out. And then Charles Manson's just making it worse. So he's like, I just feel weird. It's like some kind of a dream. And the guy gets in his face and he's like, or maybe it's more like a nightmare.
Oh, no.
He's like, what's your worst fear? And the guy goes, closed spaces. And he's like, it's pretty closed in here, Jack. And he's like, I'm freaking out real bad. And then at some point, the crazy guy goes to the bathroom and he's got dynamite taped to him. He makes the bomb. He builds the bomb in the toilet.
Okay.
So now he's got the bomb, and the guy's freaking out more and more. The guy keeps freaking out. So then he takes the bomb. Charles Manson takes the bomb, and he puts it under Sherman Hemsley's chair. So then, at some point, the one guy who's a pilot, his contact lenses get knocked out. Remember R1 Stewardess, who's a pilot?
Right.
His contact lenses get knocked out. So then Charles Manson goes to the cabin, and he takes out some kind of knockout gas. He takes the oxygen that's in the cockpit and puts it on his mouth. He knocks everyone out with the gas. And then he goes down and jumps out the cargo. He does a DB Cooper. He jumps out of the...
DB!
He pulls an old DB.
Yeah.
And then, so now the pilot's knocked out. And then, so we get the guy who is a pilot. And before he got knocked out, he put it on autopilot. Mm-hmm. So the guy who can't see is like, well, we'll be fine for now, but I don't know what I'm going to do after this. Mm-hmm. So now the guy is freaking out, who got drugged. Mm. He's freaking out really bad, and all the stewardesses are like sitting on him, and we're like, what are we going to do? And he's like, oh my God, everything. Like it's a storm. There's a bomb on the plane. So this guy is freaking out, and they're like, we have to do something. And then the one lady is taking notes, because the one woman's there to take notes for flights to see how they do. And I'm like, what are we going to do? This guy's freaking out. And then the hooker's like, I know what to do.
Oh.
And she gets on her knees. She unzips his pants.
Oh, boy.
She puts a blanket over her head, and she blows the guy.
Wow.
And they're holding him down.
Oh, no.
And the one woman's taking notes.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was just putting myself in that situation. Like he's on drugs, which is great.
Yeah.
A wrestler is holding him down. A female wrestler. I was just putting myself like, okay, here's the fantasy.
Yeah.
A female wrestler is holding you down. You're on ecstasy, and another lady's just taking notes, observing. And then the one big lady who's kind of on top of him. Mm. And then they just show he like, I guess, comes in her mouth and falls asleep.
Oh.
He just like ah, and then big smile. Big smile. So she saves the day by sucking him off. Uh-huh. And then they're trying to defuse the bomb, and they cut one wire. And at one point, the gay guy's like, I know what to do. Give me a bobby pin. And they give him a bobby pin, and he just puts it in his hair, and he's like, I just wanted it. 'Cause I'm gay. And they're like, oh, you. And then the bomb goes off. The bomb goes off.
Oh, no.
And it blows a big hole in the side of the plane.
Oh, no.
And it starts sucking everyone out of the plane. The lady with the weight problem, her butt gets sucked into the hole.
No.
Her big ass plugs the hole and saves the day. And then they figure out if they put binoculars backwards on the pilot, he can see. They land the plane.
How is that dumber than a lady's ass stopping a plane from crashing?
And then they're like, okay, we made it through, right?
Okay.
And then they're like, but we have to, now everyone's on trial because they nearly killed a bunch of blind people. And then they're like, but there's one witness. There's one special witness to call. And they're like, it's the secret FAA. It's the secret FAA inspector.
Who is it?
And they're like, we're all going to go to jail. Uh-huh. And then he sits down, and it's like from his point of view. We don't see who it is. Mm-hmm. And he sits down, and they're like, what do you have to report about what went on the flight on that fateful day? Uh-huh. And we cut to the guy. It's the guy who got the blowjob. And he goes, it was the best flight I've ever been on. And then... And then they all hug. And this is the message of the movie. The message of the movie is this is a group of rejects. Mm-hmm. But whatever you think is your curse in life is actually your special power. Okay. If you find the right context for what you think is wrong with you. Because if you think about what happened, who saved the day is the hooker blew a guy, and then the woman with the big butt, she blocked the hole. And the whole movie... That was like she was going to go to jail for being such a prostitute. And the whole movie, the other woman, she's struggling with her weight. She's eating. And they have a scene where she just eats a cake in the middle of the night.
Oh, God.
But she ends up saving the day.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the message of the movie. I want to see these two women go on to other things. They could have their own TV show where they use their special talents to like fight crime. Like there could be like a lady cop show called like Big Butt and the Blowjob or whatever. Or I would love to see them just go on and do other things. Yeah. Whore Mouth and the Caboose. Like, I don't know. They're lady cops. The past was doing its best.
That's the theme song.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They were doing their best.